And so like focusing on the business and like focusing on like the fulfillment of orders, making sure that orders are coming in and going out, the design, everything has to be impeccable before like you start really like delving deep into like, oh, like, is this line perfect? Is this design perfect? Is this logo perfect? Like, logo doesn't have to be perfect. It can be something that you just kind of throw up on Microsoft Word, and as long as you can promote it well enough, the business makes sense behind it, you're gold.
If it ain't really bad, no, my girl, show me some. I ain't a function, but I brought my pole, I don't trust nobody. I'm trying to go up to me.
My name is Sebastian. I go by Seb, S-E-B, and I am a creative entrepreneur at heart, but mostly a designer in the jewelry space and a little bit of clothing here and there, but mostly the jewelry. Yeah, and objects, make stuff. I would say since November of 2020, so I guess like 4 years now. Um, but yeah, started in college, and I like to say my dorm room. It was pretty much a dorm room, but it was living in a crib with some few homies. I was the only one that was doing something creative. Everybody else was living through their college life, I guess, doing what you do in college. But yeah, I was starting to make stuff, and it was pretty um pretty unique pieces, I would say. I didn't have many tools or no experience in screen printing or anything like that, so all of my like pieces were made like with tape. Like I would like make my own stencils with paper and like an X-Acto knife and like cut stuff out. Um, and yeah, it was a very slow start, I would say. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to make some stuff and sell it. At the end of the day, make some money. But I slowly realized that I can't be chasing after money when doing this, because money isn't gonna come in as fast as you would hope. Man, so in that crib, the first thing I made, so the first like real piece I made was in my parents' crib, actually, in Wisconsin. I was in the basement making stuff, and it was like I don't have it anymore. I sold it, but it was like a coat, I would say. I didn't know this, but so I bought it at a thrift store. It was like a big like a peacoat, I would say, um, and it was a woman's jacket. I didn't realize it was a woman's jacket until like years later. But I just painted it pretty much, painted some stripes on the back, um, like a stripe that would go through from around the back over the shoulder into the front of it, and did several other stripes that were the same. Um, and that was the first like real piece I made. In my crib that I was telling you about, that I like really started the company, it was mostly just t-shirts. Um, yeah, just like high quality, heavyweight t-shirts, and I would just throw stuff on there with paint. So either with tape or small stencils. Yeah, started off like that with small pieces, t-shirts. Yeah.
Was that coat you talking about? Was that the first piece you ever sold?
Yeah, it was. So it wasn't the first piece I ever sold, but it got me my first client. And it like gave me the like first like confidence to like really continue what I was doing. And like wore it to the grocery store with my dad in like Wisconsin. I probably looked so goofy in that. It was like a whole thing. But somebody came up to me and was like, "Yo, that's fire! Like, can you make me a piece that's like that?" Um, while the first, I guess you could call it first potential client, because it never really came to fruition. I never actually gave him any pieces. I realized I was way too early in my career and craft at giving somebody one-on-one pieces. I didn't feel comfortable doing that if it wasn't going to be at a high quality. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to produce a high enough quality piece for someone to buy one-on-one. Um, So that's why like I really stopped doing one-on-ones after a while, mostly because the quality was always inconsistent. Things would go wrong with some pieces, and I would still sell it, but I never felt like 100% confident that I should have sold it. Um, so yeah, that was the first piece I made and almost sold. The first piece I sold was before PDL. So before PDL, I had a different business called Simplicity. Made really basic t-shirts with like an embroidery and a patch kind of on the chest. Made 4 designs, and the first order I ever got was by a random lady in Idaho. I didn't know who she was, didn't know why she bought it, didn't even know where she saw the website, but hey man, I was super excited when that my first order was from somebody I didn't know. It wasn't like my mom, or from my dad, or from my cousin. It was from like some random person that just kind of liked what I was doing. So that kind of got me going into more creative stuff. And that's why I kind of left Simplicity for a bunch of different reasons. But the reason I was able to get into PDL was because of that initial like boost and confidence. Yeah, man. So a really big inspiration for me for a long time was the fact. So I grew up. I would like to say I grew up, but I lived overseas in Japan for about 8 years, on and off. And like if you go to Tokyo, well, I was living in Tokyo. If you go to Tokyo, like um a lot of the infrastructure is like concrete, like very much concrete based. And I've always really enjoyed the idea of things being concrete kind of based design. To this day, like my favorite architects um mainly work with concrete as their like um main building material. Um, I would say I have a very brutalist design kind of ethos. Um, but I guess like brands that really inspire me are like Stone Island really inspires me a lot. Um, what is it? It's PAF, something faction. Forgetting the name. A Post Archive Faction. Post Archive Faction. Um, is from South Korea. They're a very cool brand. And then Rick Owens, of course. I really like I guess the color scheme, I guess you would say, I guess like the vibe of Rick Owens. I wouldn't say that my designed design and work, like the clothing and the jewelry I release, is based off of Rick Owens or the way they do it. Yeah, so that's something different. Different like creatives that I really look up to are Ian DeLuca. He's a jewelry designer. I found him on Instagram not like a few years ago, and he's he's always been somebody whose work really inspires me to do more. Like he really works on like r- like reimagining what the jewelry industry should be. Because nowadays, and like sometimes I feel like with the work that I do with jewelry, like it's pretty um like thinned out. Like it's like jewelry isn't what it used to be to a capacity. Like it used to be so much more like elegance to it. And he's kind of bringing the elegance back to jewelry, and I really like the work he does. Chicago designer Ron Lewis is also a big inspiration for me here in Chicago. Um, yeah, Virgil, of course, Virgil. How to shout out Virgil. Matthew Williams. Um, yeah, all great designers and big inspirations for how I kind of go about thinking about what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and how I should grow and how I shouldn't grow, and um, all that stuff. Yeah, it's a great question. I think in the current place that PDL is at, jewelry is probably gonna be like it's probably gonna be a phase in the future, or like a part of the PDL company. But as of now, it's what's brought me like the most success out of anything that I've done. And so I feel like it's something I'm going to continue doing to kind of keep pushing it. I'm always gonna have a jewelry line available, but I like really love to get into more niche kind of markets. So like speaker building, want to make some speakers at some point. Furniture, of course, as most designers do at some point. Um, and then a lot more like cut and sewing pieces, actually sewing clothing. I've like dabbled in cut and sew. I've done some pieces, but never to the extent where you can like make make a lot of them and sell them. So I'm kind of getting to that point where I can start making a lot of my own pieces and sell them, but I got to take classes in pattern making and all that other stuff because I feel like there's a capacity, there's like a ceiling for how much you can teach yourself. Um, and I know some people would disagree with that, and I somewhat disagree with it because you can teach yourself a lot that you don't need a class for. But I feel like if you want to like really really excel to the next level, taking a course and one way or another is important to get to the next level. Yeah. Yup, yup. Um, After jewelry, so I guess like the grand scheme of things, of course, I want to keep releasing like t-shirts and other clothing pieces. Um, but the next like real step for jewelry is making it wearable on any piece of clothing. Um, and so I'm working on these like attachments that I'm gonna have on all my jewelry pieces, which will then allow you to place your jewelry on any piece of clothing that you own. Um, and I can't share too much, but that's like kind of like the next step for the jewelry. Um, but besides jewelry and like other products, I really want to get into speaker building. So building speakers, specifically with concrete, so a concrete base. So because I mean, concrete A will is, in my opinion, one of the best materials for a speaker because it doesn't absorb anything. Just the sound is able to move, flow a lot easier than any other type of material. I also think the aesthetic of concrete is a very nice aesthetic. So, um, being able to have concrete speakers that are for sale for like the regular person, something you can put like on a bookshelf. Um, and then also doing speakers like as installations. So, building a speaker in someone's crib. That's too big to move because it's out of concrete. So like concrete's heavy. So like being able to like grow in the space of making speakers, I think is my next goal within PDL. And I really think jewelry is gonna help me get to that point. I think jewelry is a very not very niche because a lot of people do it, but in the world of brands and creating things, especially small brands, um, jewelry is a lot smaller than clothing and like t-shirts and stuff like that. So um, I'm confident that the growth that I'll be able to find with making jewelry is going to be easier and better, and I'm going to probably be able to reach more people with jewelry and the right people. Um, and hopefully, I guess in time, when I meet the right people and get in the right circles, I can start expanding my network and start making the speakers. Because then at the end of the day, I don't have all the tools to do that. I don't know how to wire a speaker and put it together. And like that's something like I'm gonna need to meet somebody, and that just takes time and going out of your way to like meeting people. So yeah, that's a big part of PDL is meeting people, making sure you're always out there talking to anybody. Um, yeah, continuously doing that.
I definitely think um, I feel like I'm looking at a lot of brands all the time just to see like what's going on. I definitely feel like what you got, like the way you approach everything is like really like unique. Like I can't definitely see anybody
thank you.
doing what you're doing the way that you're doing and like the range of what you're doing. I have never seen that nowhere
I
before.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to. It's taken me a long time to get to this point. It's funny, like I have hundreds of posts archived on my PDL account. And like if you go through my archive, like the the color scheme and the layout and everything of PDL has changed drastically over the years. And I think that's like one of the things that made me grow to the point where I've been able to grow to is continuously trying new things and continuously trying different colors out, trying to find my own brand identity. And it's taken me 4 years, and I still don't even think I'm at a point where I want to be at, especially on a brand identity perspective. Um, yeah, like it used to be like green and brown and beige. Like that was like my colors for a long time, and I still really like a forest green. And I think that's something that I'm gonna like keep around, like in the back pocket. But um, yeah, it's always been fluctuating. So I think the thing that I enjoy the most in the growth of PDL is the adventure of finding new things that I think work with the business. Yeah, slowly but surely. At the end of the day, it to me is so when I was a kid, um, I always wanted to be well, my first job I ever wanted to have was to be a banker. That was when I was like really young and I didn't know how money worked, but I thought bankers had hella money because they worked in a bank. Um, and when I was ever since I've been a kid, like I've been wanting to be a business owner, like own my own business, working for like a startup, etc. Because I was like, that's how you make money. Like that I want money, and that's what I want. Um, and over time, that's changed a lot, and money is no longer the thing that keeps me doing what I'm doing. But to get to the point that I'm at now is because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, I wanted to create a business, whatever that business may have been, and grow it, learn about the sales, learn about the marketing, learn about all the different components. That was like the initial idea behind creating Simplicity, my first brand, was solely learning how to work a business. I didn't like I didn't really necessarily care or have a big want to do clothing. Like it was the easiest business to get into at the time, and that was the reason behind it. And slowly but surely, I like really enjoyed the process of making clothing and selling it and creating a brand, and that's what got me to making PDL was just liking to create something out of nothing. So I guess there's two parts to that. The first part, I guess, get out of the way is that like it's not something that happens every day. Sometimes, um, in the past, I try to keep it consistent now and making sure that I'm doing it every day. But in the past, like I've gone through like months, like 6 months, up to 6 months, of, like not even thinking or touching PDL, like just working on myself. Because at the end of the day, PDL to me is like my own, like it's mine. Like I don't share with anybody else. Like what comes in and comes out of it is 100% what I want to do. Um, and so I would say what keeps me doing it every day is just knowing that I can do it at the level that I want to do it. However I want to do it for that day. Um, and so I could like work on making it one piece, and that's it for one day. And the next day I'll work on the website and I'll just do the whole website for a day. And then the next day I'll do something else. Like it's continuously doing every part of the business. So I think I don't know what it keeps me doing it, but I know that I have things to do. I have steps that I need to um, get to, and I have things I need to cover. If that's orders that have to be made, if that's content that needs to be posted, if that's updates to the website, there's always something that has to get done, and I enjoy the thrill of it. At the end of the day, like I have a full-time job, and that full-time job is at a startup, and it's a great startup. I really enjoy it, and all my life, like at work, I'm at a startup, and I'm at home, I'm at a startup. Like that's how I view it. So like I'm consistently working in any capacity, and I really enjoy it, to be honest. And like that's always kind of what I wanted to do. Like I said earlier, like being an entrepreneur has been my like life dream, and now I'm like doing it, and I'm like really invested into it. So like it's not something that I want to stop. It's like to me this is like a career. Like this is my life, and so um, that's what keeps me going at it. But don't be thinking that I do it all the time. I always be playing my video games, relaxing, taking time off, going to dinner with friends, meeting with friends. Like that's always something that is on the schedule. Um, so yeah, that's what I would gotta say to that. There's levels to it. There's times where work gets done a lot, and there's times where work is really hard to get to, and that's the reality of it. Especially when it's a one-man team. When you got a bigger business, sometimes the things are a little bit different. But at this current stage, it's it runs at the pace that I set it at.
Mm,
Yeah,
I think I think for like me and Vic when it comes to rich stuff, like it's nice to have someone
true.
to like annoy you about shit.
Facts, facts. Like keep you accountable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I know when the shit's just me, it's like
it's hard. Yeah,
yeah,
it's hard. It's not easy.
shit on my knees.
It's
Like, yo, what about this?
Yeah, it's like I always compare it to like to school, and I always tell anybody that like wants to do their own like creative work in any capacity, like before I give them any tips on how to get started or what they should do or what they shouldn't do, I always tell them and let them know that at the end of the day, like it's like being in school with a homework assignment, but absolutely no one's gonna hold you accountable for doing it or not. And like it's up to you whether you want to do it and grow or you don't. And there's gonna be days like in school that you don't do it because you got stuff going on, maybe you don't feel it, but at the end of the day, you're gonna want to do it more often than not. That's how you pass a class, like if you don't do it all your homework for a whole semester, you're probably gonna fail. But if you miss a few assignments here and there, you're gonna pass, maybe not with an A, but like you're still gonna pass. And like that's how I see it with a business, and that's how I see it with that's how what I'll tell anybody. Like you gotta like keep yourself accountable, and like that's the biggest thing with a team. Like you got people above you and next to you and like everywhere around you asking you questions about how this is going, how that's going, and that keeps you motivated in a pressure way, like you're being pressured in some sort of capacity to keep going. But it's good pressure. And everybody needs some good pressure. Yeah, yeah. There is one that I have in there. Um, I can grab it if you want. We can like throw it on at some point. But I like like did all the sewing and pattern making and everything myself, and it doesn't zip up. It should zip up. I still haven't figured out how to put a zipper on something. There, I lost all the feet that they give you for your sewing machine because I didn't realize how important they would be when I first got it, and now I don't have my zipper foot, and so I can't like sew on zippers to pieces like properly. But anyways, that's a piece I really like um that I made. And then but on the jewelry aspect, I crazy story, like this is probably like one of the biggest things that like motivated me when I first started jewelry is well like when I first started jewelry, I like had the idea of reaching out to a lot of artists and celebrities, and like just like that was like sales to me, like it was cold calling but cold messaging, so I like cold messaged, I would say over like 200 artists, and like from like Baby Keem level to just a lot of smaller artists, and so like and a lot hit, not even a lot hit. I would say probably like a handful of them hit, and a lot of them missed, and that's how cold calling goes. But one of the ones that get, I didn't really get, but felt good was Pierre. I reached out to Pierre Bourne, and he actually responded, which was dope. Um, and he responded like positive in a positive way, like, but it wasn't his style. Like that's what he said, and he said this is like dope. This is dope craftsmanship. Like he appreciates the art, he appreciates the work, but at the end of the day, like he just said he doesn't like pearls. Um, so man, he's got to get on the pearl grind. But anyways, a few months later, I made a new piece for him, specifically for him, and I like really experimented techniques to make the metal balls on my pieces um, purple, because his color is purple, like at the end of the day. So I wanted to make a custom piece that had the metal bearings coated in a purple like paint. And the metal bearings, if you don't know, like have a lot of weight to them. They're solid. They're solid metal, solid stainless steel. And so once you spray paint it, it doesn't really look like a metal ball. It just kind of looks like a purple thing, but it has a lot of weight to it. And so I made a bunch of, I made two pieces, but I made a lot of different iterations before that. But I made two pieces for him with the purple. And I try to DM him again to get it to him, and I think he may have responded and was just didn't really like it again. But yeah, it just never happened. But I actually ended up selling one of the pieces to a PDL fan who swiped up on one of the stories and said he wanted the piece and sold it to somebody. So it was a win at the end of the day. So I couldn't get too upset. But that was definitely my favorite jewelry piece that I made, um, specifically because it was like I really had to like learn how to like um, make make it purple and like go through like hundreds of iterations of these little metal balls. Like I probably wasted $70 to $100 just buying these metal balls that I threw away because they had a bunch of like paint on them that I couldn't use. Um, so that was definitely my favorite piece, just because it took time to develop. It got to a really good point. I felt confident in it, and it didn't go through, but I learned a lot of different skills from it, and I can't really complain. I sold it, so yeah. Right now, so I feel like creators slash people might get upset at this, but I'm gonna be very honest. Like my happiest moment is when I get another like big name artist wearing the jewelry. Like that is like my like happiest moment. I can't say I love making pieces, but I really enjoy the fulfillment that when I'm making a piece, it's going to somebody. Because I all the pieces I make are after they're sold or after I have somebody um, want some pieces. Um, and so when I'm making the piece, I know that like the work that I'm putting in has been paid for, and it's gonna be meaningful. Um, and so every time I make a piece, I go through the whole process of making the piece, packaging the piece, um, and like getting it all like pretty much ready to go, sent out to somebody. And so it's like it's about like an hour and a half of like concentration on one person, which I enjoy because at the end of the day, like I'm a consumer and I really enjoy when somebody like puts effort into the process and like I see the I see the how like personable it is, the packaging or whatever it might be. Like and that means to me like I like put their name in it. Like I put their name on the packaging, the official packaging, like something that you cannot remove. Um, I put their name on a note, or I scribble on the box and draw something, or I make a joke on the box, something, just so like the person is like feels like they're actually being seen. Like and that's that I enjoy by having a small business is that I can like make the people that buy my jewelry like really feel the packaging. Like packaging is like top tier for me. Like that's something that I've like been working on for years and like it's something where I feel that I'm in a good spot with it, but I think it could be even better. And I like still am like striving for better packaging. Um, because like, you know, like nowadays, like I can see where people put time into making packaging. That's nice. When I'm as a consumer, but so many times like they have the box ready. They just insert the jewelry or whatever that's made from a different manufacturer overseas. They just kind of unzip it from a Ziploc bag, put it in your packaging, and then they have these little like paper cards that they just kind of slip in there, and they're already pre-printed with a pre-made message, everything. And like I get it, like that takes you a little bit of time, and like I appreciate that somebody like packaged that like individually, but like that's that to me is pretty lazy packaging. Like even though it looks crisp and it looks nice and the box is nice and the little pieces of paper they give you are nice and thick where you can like hold it and it doesn't feel like it's gonna bend, like all that stuff is great and it's cool, but none of it to me seems like this is a personal gift, personal purchase. um, so I always try to emphasize on getting the packaging to be at a very crisp, full storytelling mode before I sell or send out a package. Yeah,
I think I really do love your package. Like
appreciate it.
again, it's some like you got so much shit that I don't see nobody else doing. Like the tools, the printing.
True, true, true. I'll add one more thing, but I used to, and I'm gonna continue doing this in a few months. I used to just send out lighters with every order, and so like I would do collections of lighters, so like different designs with different like seasons I'd call them of lighters, and so like if you've been buying PDL since day one, like I got like 10 different designs of lighters out there, and like it's kind of like to me like a Pokemon card like type thing where like you can collect all the lighters, and like there's some people that got like 8 lighters, some people that got two, and like the 8 that somebody has are completely different designs than the other guy that has two. Um, so that's something that I've always kind of like added to like to emphasize on the packaging is just making sure that um, people feel like their purchase was more than just what they ordered, you know. And literally, I gave them an extra lighter. You know, that's something that they didn't purchase. It's just something that they were given. But it's not something I do anymore for the cost of it. But I do. It is expensive, man. Big,
Big, yeah.
man, big. For as big as a company as it is, they should not be seriously $25, $30 after tax and shipping. Like, yeah, it boils down to like $3 a lighter. Like, no, it really isn't like
I don't know. I think that's
it's taxing. So there's two answers to that. One like real answer like um has honestly been the seeing the progression of support and real love from not only like the community but specifically my parents. Um I know they've always been very happy and proud of me like for starting a business, but I also know that like just from being with them that they were a little skeptical on like the of being making a brand, you know, and like because making a brand is so many of them. It's so easy to like go under the water and like no one ever really seeing what you make. Um, and so seeing like the progression of how supportive they are and how involved they are in what I do, um, has been like something that like I'm a whole lot of value for. Um, like they'll call me and ask me like how the week has been with orders, what's going on, like what's going to be new, like with PDO. Versus in the past, they'll ask me when they see me, but they'll never really go out of their way to bring it in the conversation. Um, that was like very early on, but that was like to seeing the progression of the love from my parents, from the fans, from the PDL family, it's something that like I always see with other brands, even like Instagram pages that just do like I guess like the aesthetic Instagram pages, like a plastic plant or hidden New York. Like they really have like a real community, and I always see the same people posting, like same people commenting on their posts. Like people are really involved and really like support it, and having like growing the fan base and the family for PDL has been like super rewarding. Like and seeing that people really wear it, post it, tag me, like DMing me, like asking me when the next collection is coming out or when this old product that is no longer available is gonna re-release. Like all this other, like all these like love that I receive from the community is been by far the most rewarding for sure. So I think one that I want to get to that I haven't been able to get to as much is functionality. Um, that's I think a big component of what I like to make. I just released some pants. Maybe you'll pop them up on the screen right now. Um, they have these like buttons on them, and right now they look just aesthetically nice as pants. But the idea is that you'll be able to clip things onto your pants, whether that's something that's functional or that's something that just looks nice. Um, that's just the pants. The same thing goes with the jacket. I'm planning on releasing gloves and hats and other things like that with the same buttons on them. So at a level, to a point in PDL, you'll be able to buy a necklace and some pants, and you can make probably 20 fits with just that because you can put the necklace around your neck at different lengths, or you can put them on your pants in different positions. Um, and then in that same capacity, like once you buy a necklace or the charms, like I'll also like have different charms that or be available for people to purchase, not just necklaces. You'll be able to snap on anything. So you can buy gloves and snap it on your gloves, hat, jacket, anything. So functionality has been a big part of what I make, and I did that a while ago. Like when I first started releasing clothing, I always had like lighter pockets and stuff, um, and it was just like it wasn't super functional, but it looked nice and it had a purpose and it had a reason that it was there. Sometimes it didn't work as much as I wanted to because I had to hand sew it. Wasn't good at hand sewing at the time, so um, but yeah, functionality and then the gray color scheme is something that I really enjoy nowadays. So gray, black, white, and anything in between. Um, anything that's those colors is something that I really like, and I think that stems from concrete again. There's another interview that I did probably a year and a half ago, and they got a clip of me. It was so embarrassing of me saying concrete probably like 6, 7 times in a row. Like in the middle of the interview, I say concrete, and it cuts to like just like 7 clips of me being like concrete, concrete, concrete. Oh man. But so I might say it a lot, but it's something that I really actually enjoy, not only from a style point from living in Japan and an architecture standpoint, but like the color of it and the everything about it to me kind of speaks my design language. Um, from the brutalist standpoint of it to the color to the texture to the actual durability of what concrete is. Um, yeah.
Cool. I never associated concrete with PDL. Like the way they, I think it's interesting how people can interpret.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. There's actually the coasters that I made right there. The concrete, yeah.
I got the one you gave me. I use that
Oh,
for
these
basketball
are-
all the time.
This is the first PDO candle that I made. I don't know if this camera can really see it all that well, but yeah, it's like seeping and everything. Yeah, so I like for a while I really tried to release concrete products, but I realized I was kind of being stupid with concrete, and I didn't realize how concrete needs to be. I didn't do any of the safety precautions for concrete that you should be doing, so I stopped pretty quickly. So that is the story with concrete. I really enjoy it, and I really wish I could make concrete speakers at some point. Man, my career right now is really important. And that goes for both the startup that I work at right now and for PDL. And then I also do a lot of work with Black Sam, an artist. Shout out Black Sam. Um, so right now, like my career is like at the forefront of what's like really important. Um, of course, my relationships with everybody is also very important. I keep seeing people as a priority in my life. So I need to see my friends. I need to spend time with my girlfriend. I need to see my family. Like I continuously try to make time to see people, and I think that's something that's very important. Not only because I tend to be a sociable person and I enjoy being in sociable situations, but I also think it's important to um, do something else other than just work. Because if I have a startup at home to work on, a startup to work 9 to 5, and then side work to do for Black Sam, that can easily take up 7 days a week if I let it. Um, and that's something that I like. Is I guess it's like at the end of the day, the work-life balance, and so yeah, it's like both of those are very important to me, and I make sure to keep a steady balance and keeping keeping things aligned, if you will. I to be honest, I think the next 2 years are gonna be very telling of that. Um, the startup that I work at now, my job, is doing really well as a company. We are expanding rapidly. We are truly like valued by the industry. Um, Major brands continuously want to work with us. So I see a very bright future for that. And I want to spend a lot of time on it. And I know at the end of the day, since PDL is me and um only me, like I can see my future either being consistently with PDL or split pretty much with a lot of the business that's happening right now. So it's a very personal thing because they're both something that I very much enjoy, and it's something that I want to see grow and I want to see blow up. But they both require a lot of time, and since I am one person, there's only so much time I can dedicate to certain things. And the other aspect is I really want to have my work grow and like my 9 to 5 grow because that is the budget for PDL. My salary and what I make is the budget for PDL, and of course, like all the orders that come in, like go right back into to PDL and like growing it. So I want to spend a lot of time on my real job because that is at the end of the day what's going to allow me to do PDL full time in the future, if done right. So ideally, PDL is going to be the only thing I do in the future, and ideally that's the main goal at the end of the day. But I think to get to that point, I'm going to have to dedicate a lot more time into the job that I work at right now.
Just for the record, what's the name of the startup you work at?
Show drop. Show drop. If you look up show drop on Google, 9 out of 10 times it'll tell you, "Oh, do you mean to look up Snowdrop? Because there's a movie called Snowdrop." Um, so it's really annoying. It's like that's another like that's a thing working in a startup, and like same thing with like PDL. Like that's what I really enjoy, like having the seeing both sides because the startup I work at now is like growing exponentially large, and we're really signing on a lot of new clients all the time, and so I get to see the growth in that, so that allows me to envision the growth for PDO and envision the processes and the techniques and the work that I need to put into PDL to get to the point where this business is getting. So it's a really good like North Star for me for PDO and to being able to understand what the what the actual business needs to look like to grow. Because at the end of the day, like yeah, like you got to keep yourself accountable. Nobody is being like nobody's gonna be on your shoulder asking you, when's the next collection or when's this releasing or when's that coming out. At least within the first year to 2 years of having a business, um, and at that point, like some fans might hit you up, but even at that point, like it's not like your mom's not hitting you up, your brother's not hitting you up, your dad's not hitting you up. not even like your homies are like really like your homies are asking you how you're doing, how's the business doing, but no one's gonna push you to do the things you need to do. And so that's like the top number one thing. Like you gotta just do it. There's no work around it, especially if you want to get to a point of success. Whatever success may mean to you, but to me, success means that um, PDL can survive on its own. Like I could leave PDL to somebody else, and at that point, they have structure to the business. They understand how a business should work. Because at the end of the day, like a business in like a brand, I guess, like 90% of it, 80% of it, um, is the business. Like you can be a great designer, like a phenomenal designer. Like so there's three ways of looking at it to being successful in the design industry. There's you can either inherit something, either you got a whole lot of money, you can just kind of toss it. You're an amazing designer. Like you're just like impeccable. Like you really like know you can like see cloth and you know how to put that together and you can like really blow up and show people that like you know what you're doing. And like that way you'll blow up quickly because you're gonna stand out because you're doing something that's a real craft. And the third way is focusing on the business over the craft. You know, like you need to be able to do all like the actual business stuff. These if it's sales, marketing, accounting, etc. before you really can do the art. Like think of like any like Cortez. Like Cortez, like the reason they're so successful is because they have a great marketing scheme. They really focus on that. Like their clothing isn't anything like crazy special. Like there's a lot of brands that release pretty similar stuff that they release. Like it isn't that they're creating new clothing and new patterns or anything like that. It's just that they really marketed the shit out of it to an audience that they created themselves and they blew up. Like I mean, of course it took time and they took growth. Like they didn't just blow up, but like to the level that they are now, like they didn't get to the level they are now with bad marketing. Um, and so like focusing on the business and like focusing on like the fulfillment of orders, making sure that orders are coming in and going out, the design, everything has to be impeccable before like you start really like delving deep into like, oh, like is this line perfect? Is this design perfect? Is this logo perfect? Like logo doesn't have to be perfect. It can be something that you just kind of throw up on Microsoft Word and as long as you can promote it well enough, the business makes sense behind it, you're gold. So those are the three ways. The thing with Michael Jackson, like being dead, like his like the music is timeless. You know, you can download that on anything. Like, but like my pieces, like it'll be maybe on the market on like vintage sites, reselling sites. I honestly feel like I would want it to like move on to somebody else, like somebody that I trust, like somebody that I can see them like really like it's something that I hand off to somebody. It's not like I would really hate to like PDL to get to a point where like there's a like whole like board of directors like that really like appoint somebody like that's like something I don't want to happen. Like so if I ever get to the point where it's so large where like there could be board of directors, somebody or somewhere in some contract it's gonna say that when I die I appoint it to somebody and nobody else can touch it. Like because like that's something like is important to me like and I think is important to anybody that has a business is that like the person that's going to take it on the responsibility of running and growing it is somebody that you see like see yourself in type shit. So that's the only way I would give it away to somebody else. If I didn't have that freedom I would definitely just end it and have people just resell it. I'd probably bully myself a little bit more. No, I don't know. Don't promote bullying. Don't bully people. Um, but I think 5 years ago, I think 5 years ago I was in college and I was having fun. I wouldn't tell myself anything 5 years ago, to be honest. 5 years ago, I think I was in the point where I should have been. Um, But I think like 10 years ago, like when I was a kid, 15 years ago, like tell myself that like just like work on yourself and you don't have to impress anybody. And that's something that like took me a long time to do as an individual. Um, but it's taking me even longer as a business owner. Like, um, I share a lot of my successes with a lot of close friends. I always keep it very personal with people that I trust. But I feel like it's taken me a long time to like really close off. Like if someone knows about PDL, like I'm very open to talking about it. But like if someone doesn't know about PDL, like I'm not gonna go out of my way to tell them about PDL. Um, so like just keeping like more privacy, I feel like is something that I would tell myself when I was younger. Over time, there's I feel like since I have such a business mindset, it's taken me a long time to really understand my whole creative process. Um, but I think it's come down to the fact that I really care about the functionality of my product, and so I'm always like brainstorming and thinking of new ways to be functional and have functional products like that look nice but have functionality to it. Um, and so throughout my day, I always try to look out for things that like are functional to me and how I can apply that to anything that I make. Um, so yeah, that I would say just throughout my day, taking time to take things in. I can't really like I don't take a lot of inspiration from like well, I can't read or see a magazine and see cool things in there and be like, oh wow, like imagine this and like move this around. Like what if I did this? Like um I like the simplicity of things too. And so I don't like making anything that's too crazy and out of the way. Um it took me a long time to like get over that fear that I can't just make something and it'll look good, like because it has to be something that I like, and I like stuff very simple. And that's another thing with like creating a team. Like when I create a team and have people like working with me, like having other people's input into what something could actually look like. Not because just because I don't like it or I don't wear it doesn't mean it doesn't look good, or it could be sold or people could like it. Like, and I feel like that's something that kind of holds me back a little bit. Just like sometimes I just only release what I really like and what I make. And so if I don't like it, I'm not gonna release it type thing. Yeah, and I shout out Grace, man. I made some wallet chains and the wallet chains I just released. And she said that like it's now in style for girls to have like chains on their purses. I was like, damn, that's like a whole new way to apply the something that I already made. Like I don't really have to like change it all too much other than just making it a little bit shorter. But yeah, it's a whole like just like you hear stuff from somebody else that you just didn't know, didn't realize that would be a hit. I'm Seb. This is from Vista, and I'm signing off. I'm out of here.